Lately I found myself sitting around and watching some YouTubers, and one of them was Anomaly. In one video, a subscriber donated a case and a key for the game Csgo, in which you can open these cases and get skins that are worth real money. He got extremely lucky and pulled a rare item that was worth around $1,500. Then I put myself into the perspective of the guy who donated the case. What could he be thinking? Maybe he was upset because he didn't open the case and got the expensive item for himself. But that would be stupid, wouldn't it? I mean, for all we know, the items you'll get aren't predetermined within the case. Or are they? So first off, we'll have to take a look at the odds for what you can get from opening cases in Counter-Strike. I found a lot of sources claiming they know the odds, but they kind of didn't add up. In some cases I ended up with a percentage above 100%, which is... Wait, did I just say sandwiches? Anyway, it took me some time until I found out that since CSGO was released in China, they had to put out the odds for legal reasons. The percentages I found on the fan wiki were the same as most other sources, so I am pretty sure we can trust them. So, going on from there, the chance of getting a knife like the one that Anomaly pulled out of the case is about 0.25575%, which is very, very unlikely. It basically means that the expected average times you would have to open a case to get a knife is about 400 times. A case and a key of the kind that Anomaly opened goes for around $2, so on average you would have to spend about $800 to get a knife. So you'll always lose when you get... wait. The knife that Anomaly pulled was worth $1,500? He actually made profit? Well, the reason why everyone isn't just gambling in CSGO and getting rich is that the knives don't have a fixed value. Even though I looked really hard to find anything, I couldn't find the odds for the individual knives and how they are dropped. But I found this beautiful spreadsheet that kept track of the knives pulled from different accounts and added up the profit and the expenditure, and it shows you will need to open about 419 cases for a knife, which is exactly what we just calculated. Alright. So, going on from there, the new information now is that the average knife worth is about $217. So, with all our math done, we can finally conclude, on average, you will have to spend about $800 to get a knife that will be worth, on average, $217, thus bringing you a loss of $583 per knife. There you have it, kids. Don't gamble, it's not worth it. But now we can get back to our original thought. When does the case determine what item comes out of it, and could the guy who donated the case to Anomaly have opened it itself to get the knife? Well, once again I started digging, and it seemed like most of the people I spoke to were convinced that the drop is being determined once you open the case, the exact moment you press that fancy button. But then I realized that sometimes the servers of CSGO are kind of laggy, resulting in you being able to open the crate but not getting any item yet. Now, of course, once the connection is established again, you'll get your item, but we can still see the items going by before the server even determines what kind of item you'll get. That is because all of the items around this skin you will pull out of the case are completely random and irrelevant. There's actual proof of it because you can trick the system into displaying an item you chose to be rushing by endlessly, but then miraculously the exact item you'll pull out is random, and probably a blue worthless one. So when we open the case and see the first few items rushing by, this is actually prior to when the system chooses what skin you will get, because like in our example from before, the opening can be cancelled even after you clicked open. More precisely, it's at the exact moment when the animation would get cancelled if you couldn't reach the server, which is right now. Okay, well, great, that was a labor. Now, with all the information collected again, I could just end the video and say, well, there you have it, guys. The case can't determine what's inside because the content you'll get out of it is determined way after you purchase or drop the case, even after you've already opened it, but that's not quite it. I mean, sure, you can assume that the content will be chosen independently from the chase, but what if you sat down at the place Anomaly sat at the exact moment that he had opened the case? I mean, would you get the same? Oh boy, this is gonna get complicated. The basic idea is the following. Imagine a button and a display. Whenever someone pushes the button, a 1 or a 0 will appear on the screen. The chance that a 1 will appear is going to be 0.001%, while the chance of getting a 0 will be 99.999%. Let's just assume that if I pushed the button at a specific point in time that we'll call t+1, a 1 would appear on the screen. Now, if you sat down and pushed the button right after I did, at a point in time that we'll call t+1, you will most likely get a 0 to appear. Now, let's just assume that you could travel back in time right before I pushed the button. Imagine watching me push the button again. Now, what would the result be? If a 1 appeared on the screen, that means that there's gotta be a way to predict the outcome due to the fact that apparently a system must determine what the result is, because at least the time is one factor that's linked to the outcome. Now, if a 0 appeared on the screen, that means that a random event, even when repeated at the same time in the same setting with the same person, could not be replicated with the same end result. But that would give us a little problem. If neither the circumstances of me, how I pushed the button, nor the time changed at all, there's nothing influencing the result of our experiment, but the outcome still changed. Nothing is different from when we did the same thing earlier on, except for you. If, and this is purely theoretical, the result would in fact be different, that would mean that the only thing changed when you traveled back in time to watch me press the button again is you. Knowing the outcome of the experiment would change the outcome. It's almost as if the randomness watched you go back in time and decided to play a trick on you. Or at least that's what I think. Overthink. Thanks for watching. If you like this new format, please make sure to leave a like on this video. If you're new to this channel, you can also subscribe, it's completely free.